Hello and welcome to the Horror House Podcast. I'm Dave.
I am Chris. And that's Jeff. Say hi, Jeff. The three of us like to have some drinks and talk about some horror stuff. This week, we are talking about something we've been planning on doing for months. We are finally getting to it. The menu is on the menu for tonight. So
Ooh, I see what you did there.
let's talk about it.
Let's start with I just want to, before we get into the movie itself, let's talk about the cast. That's the appetizer to this menu. Is the cast. It really is a great cast from all kinds of different backgrounds. So we'll start with Chef Slowick himself, Ralph Fiennes.
None other.
What do you think about Ralph Fiennes? Traditionally, Voldemort, he who shall not be named.
He was in Cronenberg's Spider in 2002. He was great. I didn't know he was in a Harry Potter movie, but I know he's in some obscure Cronenberg movie. I got that going for me.
He's in a James Bond movie, Spectre. He's in Red Dragon.
Right.
So he's in the Hannibal Lecter universe.
This guy may be is gonna have a good career in this acting business.
I think if he sticks it out, he's gonna be okay. So
it's not looking too bad. And I don't want to Anya or Anna. How do you? What's the proper way?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Okay. The witch.
She
the witch
is.
Girl.
Yeah, the witch. She's in a lot. She's in a lot of good horror history. You know, Peaky Blinders, The Northman, Last Night in Soho, which I really enjoyed. The New Mutants. If you're going to consider that. She is magic. Ilyana Rasputin.
Nice. Okay. I may have to watch that. No, I won't.
Yeah.
Is Nicholas Hoult in it?
No.
Okay. I may give it a shot.
All right. Split. The M. Night Shyamalan superhero trilogy. She's in Split, and I do believe she's in Glass too. Yeah. So she's got horror chops. She's got them.
When I think of modern horror actresses, I tend to think of her pretty quickly. So the fact that she's in here, it lends credence to the horror of it.
And you know, I don't want to jump into her character yet, Margot yet, but yeah, she's great. Skipping one actor that's a little bit of a beast to talk about. The one that plays the like the assistant waitress, like get everybody in their places, Mater D, but I think that's a male term, so I don't know what the female term is.
Mater Da.
Mater Da, yeah.
Sounds right.
Daba dee, daba doo, daba da. Cause I was blue, ba ba ba. She's plays average looks in this, but I looked her up on the IMDb and I'm like, dang, she pretties up nice.
They will sweat.
I know Jeff is going to have something to say about this. She is voiced one of the characters in BoJack Horseman, one of the not every episode characters, but Pickles Aplenty.
That's a good show.
Yeah. What I've watched of it is very entertaining and very. It's a soul searching movie. Like watch it, get high, and think about your life.
How come I didn't get invited to watch High BoJack?
You always have an invite to watch BoJack Horseman.
Share it, period.
Yes. And then what was it? There was something. I just
John
I'm missing it
Leguizamo?
now.
Or are you talking still about her?
I was still talking about her, but I'm going to
okay.
move on because yes, John Leguizamo, the pest himself, and
P to the E to the E to the S to the. I spelled pest wrong.
Yeah, you put way too many letters in it, but I like me some John Leguizamo. He doesn't seem like I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's really been around that long, but he has got acting credits. I mean, he's in everything. I think he's in 5 movies a year or something like that. He's got 156 acting credits with 7 upcoming. So he's been around a lot longer than my brain can comprehend.
He was
because
the Violator in Spawn, which was rad.
Yes. Super Mario Bros. He's Luigi Mario, which is the horror of being named Mario is something that we should probably talk about sometime. But that I think is probably my first remembering him. It says he's in Die Hard 2, but I don't kind of remember him in that. Even talking about it, I don't remember him in that. The Super Mario Bros. 2. The Fan is a good movie. It's not like straight horror, but it's horrific and a horror situation. Dr. Dolittle is straight horror. Because it would be horrible to know what animals say, or to be able to talk to animals. Assault on Precinct 13, the remake, Land of the Dead. I love Land of the Dead.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. And he's not a dick, or he's only kind of a dick. So
I thought he was. Didn't he steal their truck? Didn't he cause the whole? I thought he was like the main kind of. Well, you had
main asshole.
Yeah, like he kind of caught because he was trying to get into the rich people tower, and they're like, "Oh,
right,
no," and then he kind of.
Oh yeah, they kind of used him. They kind of played him. Yeah, okay, okay. I take it back. He is a fucking dick. So Repo Men, I like that. That was a cool one. I think that is the one where they are repossessing organs in it, starring Forrest Whitaker and Jude Law.
There you have it.
Well, time is a flat circle. So yeah, John Leguizamo is great. I do like John Leguizamo. Judith fucking Light.
We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. That's not the right theme song, but I don't remember how.
You had me for a minute. I was like, I really don't know that theme song if that's how it goes. It don't go that way. That's Laverne and fucking Shirley.
We're gonna make that is Laverne and Shirley.
That is Laverne and Shirley.
I'm like, that's not Laverne and Shirley. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, we literally were just talking about Who's the Boss.
Ing is telling me you just looked this up the other day. Who's the Boss? I typed who, and it auto-populated Who's the Boss theme song, if that tells you anything.
It knows what it's working with. She didn't do a lot in this movie. She was very distraught.
Right, she's
the whole business. Which is fair. I get it. But
yeah, I mean it's nice that she's there. But I thought it was extremely well acted, and we like her. You got a minute, Chris, or you need to bow this one out and let me and Jeff talk about this last actor, main fucking character dude that we have to talk about. It's Nicholas Hoult.
Go ahead. You guys go ahead. I'll jump in.
Yeah, Jeff, Nicholas Hoult, man. X-Men Beast. He's one of the beasts. He's no Kelsey Grammer. And I think that's why Chris wanted to bow out of this conversation.
Listen, I could put on blue sleeve, hairy gloves, and call myself Beast. That doesn't make me Beast.
He also hung from the ceiling and invented a shot that let Professor X walk and not go bald. So, like, he invented Propecia in the X-Men universe. 2 episodes of The Walking Dead, which I did not even realize until just now looking at his IMDb page. Clash of the Titans, which I do like that movie. Warm Bodies.
The original or the remake?
For Warm Bodies, I don't know that.
Oh, the Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans, the remake. Yeah, he would have been like an infant baby. He would have been
which one was better, the original or the remake? I haven't seen the remake of it.
Okay, this episode is over, Jeff, if you're going to ask ridiculous questions like that. Yeah, for some movies, yes, there's debate. For Clash of the Titans, there's no debate. The original is better.
That's good.
Even though there's no Liam Neeson in the original, it's still good. And then just this year, Renfield, which I don't know if you saw that yet. It was okay. It was not the laugh-a-minute comedy I thought it was going to be, but it also wasn't very serious. So it was trying to be funny, but it wasn't greatly funny. There were some cool fucking action sequences and a lot more gore than I expected. But that's all I really want to say about Nicholas Hoult, who is really he who shall not be named when Chris is involved.
I'm kidding. If we were to do an X-Men podcast, I would shit on him. But yeah, like watching this, I'm like, he's good. I don't really have a problem with him here. And then I remembered that he was in Fury Road. I'm like, I didn't have a problem with him there. I'm just really, when it comes to him playing Beast, I'm just not there for it. Fucking blue sleeve, hairy sleeve motherfucker.
I mean,
it looks stupid. It's dumb. It's Bryan Singer's fault. Yeah,
let's just we can have a whole podcast where we shit on Bryan Singer, because I am okay with that, because I mean, like, he ruined.
Do we need a whole podcast?
He ruined the X-Men, and I will stand by that.
That's the most pretentious way to say ruined. I kind of love it. He ruined.
Here we got Ryan
that whole attempt to reboot and recast the X-Men. I mean, I like James McAvoy. I mean, I think James McAvoy is a great actor. If you disagree with me, you clearly have not seen Split. I think he is a phenomenal actor. And that whole thing with him as Professor X and Nicholas Hoult as Beast, without the Beast, like, he's Beast without Beast. They shouldn't have named him Hank. They should have just named him like Smart Guy number 2. That was fucking dumb. The only thing redeeming about that is Quicksilver.
Fair.
Can we agree there?
Fair.
Can we find some common ground?
Fair.
And begin to heal America by saying the Fox Quicksilver is the best fucking Quicksilver?
Not the one from WandaVision where they made a dick joke about him.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I'll agree to your terms.
Okay. Anna Paquin as Rogue, nice. Peter Dinklage, always a treat. Halle Berry, yes please.
But then you add directed by Bryan Singer on top of it. Or did he?
Yeah, and then all that good stuff you put together. Instead of building something with it, you just threw it in a fucking pile.
Costumes?
And then
you
pissed
want
on it.
Us to wear costumes? Get right out of town. We wear leather.
Nobody
We're
will
cool.
take a superhero movie seriously if they're wearing
How
costumes.
did we go? Oh, I was like, how did we go from the menu to talking about Bryan Singer X-Men movies? I forgot the Beast connection there for a second. Anyways,
Oh, and alcohol. Never underestimate the power of alcohol.
this is true.
So, a very good cast, Leo. Just talking about their acting, I think everyone acted well. I don't know, nobody stood out like, oh, this person, like they hammed it up a little bit too much, or they were not what they needed to be. I thought everybody did great.
I thought I had an interesting idea because obviously Ray Fiennes, the Anya Taylor-Joy, did I remember her name?
Mhm.
And Nicholas Hoult, maybe one or two others, like were the main, like
Mhm.
the meaty ones.
Yep.
But then like I didn't feel like the finance guys were up to that level, or some of the other ones. To a lesser extent, John Leguizamo and his thing. But that also that gave me the, like, these people are side actors. They're just kind of, they're also in it, yes, but they're not the, you know, that's why they're not getting paid as much as the top billed people.
Sure.
I'm like, okay,
That's why you have to do, 20 movies a year, John Leguizamo.
yeah.
So
Did you see when he shit on Steven Seagal?
yes, and
not
I'm
literally.
fucking there for it.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking there for it because I feel like we kind of started shitting on Steven Skull a couple weeks ago as well.
He's a terrible guitar player.
A terrible person.
Isn't he a Russian asset?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, probably.
I'm not really joking.
Yeah, no, I think that may be true. He's something else. I told you a couple weeks ago, like when he first showed up to like the jiu-jitsu championships, he just claimed to be like, I'm a 12th Dan, which is like that's the highest fucking level, and couldn't tell anybody like who trained him, who passed him. Like he just showed up claiming to be the highest level, and then would only demonstrate and spar with people he paid to be there in his entourage. It's one of these fake fucking kung fu shits. Oh yeah, he's a fucking giant ass piece of shit. So
I'm gonna throw this guy with my donut, and then I'm gonna play one lick on a guitar. Repeat it. I'm Steven Seagal.
fucking him and Corey Feldman can start a band and called Washed Up Piece of Shits.
Corey Feldman.
Jeff, what did you think about the acting in this?
Oh, the acting was very good. Very. It definitely draws you in. Like Chris said, there's not really anybody that really just sticks out going, eh. Ralph Fiennes was, I mean, just the perfect person for this role.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other person that would make it better would be Mads Mikkelsen.
I could see that. I could see that
but he's
being
not been
a
in a
pretty good
Cronenberg
swap.
movie, so we fail him. All right,
True.
Ralph Fiennes, damn, it was good.
But he was in a Cronenberg fan film, so.
Oh, I'm interested. Where can I watch that?
Where can I sign up? Where can I watch that? It's a pornography. It's a Cronenberg porno.
God,
And
disgusting. Like, what website should I not look for that on?
how can I not watch that specifically? If I wanted to avoid
what
it,
can I type into uBlock Origin to make sure that it never comes up?
I thought he did good. I right off the bat, like Anna Taylor-Joy, Margot, and Nicholas Hoult Tyler, they are the main characters, and Chief Slowick also. He's your antagonist.
Chief.
Chief. Goddamn, how many times have I done that? It's RoboChef. But before you even get to him, like the story, I felt like this story is so good. I was drawn in from the start. This It feels mysterious, right? It feels to me almost like um, Agatha Christie, 10 Little Indians. You know, everybody's getting on the ferry and coming to an island, and they're going to be isolated on this island. And to have fun, to have a good meal. But from the start, and maybe like it's hard to say, would I feel tension if I didn't know this was a horror movie? If I went in complete cold and not knowing anything about it, not even knowing the genre, would have felt tension. And I kind of feel like, yes, you have drama early on, just from when Margot sees the old man on the gangplank, and they both kind of look away real quick, and so you can feel that tension between them almost immediately. Like there is something to this, but Margot is very open. She clearly is the stand-in for the audience. Like, she's going into this unknown. Tyler has information she does not have, and that's very clear going into this. So, Margot is the stand-in for the audience in this one.
I think that was the one thing that I didn't like about the story, was him having all this knowledge about what was really going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And like that one part, I'm like, I don't know. I didn't love that idea of it. That's really the only thing in the story that I was like not there for. Because I love the parts with him where he's like super fanning everything. He's like, "Oh, do you think he noticed me? Do you think like, oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
like he's being a real Swiftie."
Very much, very much. He's fanboy number one.
Also, I've never ate at some kind of like fancy place in my entire life.
Sure.
But looking at these things, I am reminded that if I ever were to be presented that situation, I don't know how you're expected to go into one of these dishes. Like, where's the starting point on some of this shit? I'd like a movie that just showed me that. Like, maybe there's a bonus feature. They're like, now here's where you put your spoon, but you have to go in 90 degrees or you're not going to be able to get the sea salt.
How do you eat this lump of ice carefully positioned on top of a rock? I don't know. I don't know. But this is based on like some real restaurants, some of which went out of business in COVID, and I do feel like that this is there's some COVID references in here. Yeah.
Right.
So that's very I feel like important to the story. In some subtle ways, but yeah, the dishes are outlandish, and I will talk about it later, but it cost me some self-reflection. I like to cook. I do like to cook, and I do.
Did you get fancy, Dave?
I've been getting fancy for years. I've been getting fancy pants for years, and then all of a sudden I watched this, and I was like, oh, that's dumb. Maybe I don't need to get fancy pants, and I'm doing too much. I am on the doing too much countdown. I'm like top 3 in the doing too much countdown. So like they're counting it down like 5, 4, 3. Dave Hyatt, North Vernon, Indiana. He's doing too much. He's salt, pepper, garlic. That's just a beginning. Mustard powder. Hell yeah. Tony Chachere's. It's fun to say and to eat. Put it in there. Minced onion, bacon grease, smoked paprika, everything bagel seasoning, balsamic vinegar.
Are you just reading stuff in your kitchen right now?
These are all things I have been cooking with in the last several weeks. I just throw everything into stuff. I call it jazzing.
The tear of a newt.
I call it jazzing up. So
Dave's mess.
I jazz up a recipe even if it's the first time I cook it. Now Stella always tells me, don't jazz it up. Cook it regular first, and then you can figure out where you want to jazz it up. But I'm reading the recipes. Like I see a TikTok with a recipe, and I'm all, as soon as they're showing me like this, and this, and I'm like, why not add this? Why not do this? We can really jazz it up and really make it flavorful. So, sometimes I do too much.
Powdered bullshit.
Yeah, I overdo.
Jeff, how did you feel about the food of the movie? Thoughts?
I mean, it was crazy.
Anything you're familiar with, or
they had rocks. They put plants on that we play.
Yeah.
That does seem very like pretentious restaurant. Like in this restaurant, we lick rocks.
Here's your bread, but no bread.
Yes.
So I thought the menu itself in the movie was pretty brilliant in that way. It starts off just on the ferry when they brought out the oysters with the
Alginate.
Whatever little balls on it, mignonette emulsion or whatever they call it, and Margot says like pond scum, like he's serving you pond scum. I like oysters, and then she has a palate like I've never eaten a raw oyster. I've never sucked an oyster. I kind of want to. Next time maybe I go to Florida and maybe in October I'll get a chance to eat an oyster, raw oyster. I heard it tastes like a loogie, like a salty loogie. But she talks about and calls it pond scum, the algae that they use to top the oyster with. And is that an insult? Is that an insult to the dinner guests? He's not just serving you pond scum. He's kind of telling you are pond scum at that point.
I mean, she said it before in the movie that he's making fun of them.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler's like, no, he's not.
He's telling a story.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's not a meal. It's a journey. And the breadless bread plate kind of continues that. Like great. Bread is the meat is food of the common people, and you're not common people. He's basically telling them you're elites. And I think maybe my favorite line in the movie is when Elsa tells the one accountant bro, the money bro, she's like, tonight you will eat less than you desire and more than you deserve. And to me, that's fucking great line. That's cold-blooded shit. Like I could see Samuel L. Jackson telling that to somebody,
Then
he'd throw in a motherfucker at the end,
trying to tattoo Elsa on his leg. That's bad. She was bad. I mean, she was a badass. Oh, yeah. Like the way she would, like if they were doing something she didn't want them to be doing, she'd be like, can we please go over here now? Like I can't remember anything offhanded that she said, but like she would ask them, but in the most bitchy, like bossy way possible. And I'm like, I wouldn't be able to function. I'd be like, it's best I leave because I don't know how to deal with this. You're real mean.
Like at the beginning when they're asking about where they had to hang the meat up.
Yes.
Oh, don't touch. Please don't touch the meat. Or what did she say? Something else. It was
don't touch the protein. It's about the protein. Like, what happens if we
53 days?
Yeah.
You'll introduce bacteria that will introduce into the consumer's bloodstream and cause a hemorrhage and then end up with their death. So yeah, all hell will break loose.
That was great. That's a great line.
She is great. So I think it's in the IMDb trivia. So I mean, I don't always know if that shit is gospel truth. But I think I read an article that said the same thing. So it's hard to tell if they referenced each other or they both independently come across this information that she, in the prep work and the filming of this, because they did have like a world famous chef that helped develop this movie and kept the kitchen stuff accurate. she offered Hong Chow like a job. She's like, no, you've got this down. You've got this down. You are the queen bitch of the restaurant floor. And so that's what I need in my, $1,000 plate restaurants. These $1,200 restaurants exist. These things really exist.
And then she said
which
no,
is
and
fucking
then
insane.
now she's stuck in the actors strike. So I think she maybe chose poorly there. She'd be killing it.
So here we go. The Kier Chick Pizza in Dubai, $180,000 per pizza. So these expensive foods fucking exist. I saw diners, dive-ins, and dives one time, and I mean, you can't call it that when it's like a $10,000 fucking milkshake. But they had a milkshake that they had actual gold flakes that they like shaved on top of the milkshake.
Gold flakes is the most
God.
pretentious bullshit.
Yeah, fuck. Dude, if you own anything gold except for a couple pieces of maybe jewelry, and you're a piece of shit.
I'm speaking more to gold. Did I say gold plates? I meant gold flakes. Like on food.
Gold flakes. Yeah, on food.
Like when they put it on food,
I'm like, gold on anything.
Gold on food immediately makes me like, I don't care what you're showing me right now. You're a nerd. It's so weird. Like
it's like Goldschlager.
Very
Gold Schlager.
shock.
Just give me some regular fucking cinnamon whiskey and set me on my way.
How much was that pizza, by the way, that you mentioned?
$180,000 per pie.
I'm pretty sure we could come up with a secret handshake with some stock dudes at the grocery store and get some Jack's pizzas for like $250.
Oh yeah. Jack's is fucking the shit, man. I love me some Jack's pizza.
It's cheap and really, that's
might as well plug Big Head Pizza right here in North Vernon, Indiana. I don't care where you're at. If you're listening to this in Dubai, get you that $180,000 pizza. Put it in a fucking pizza warmer. If you can afford a $180,000 pizza, you can afford a private jet. Fucking fly here and
don't bring those pretentious people here.
No, get it. No, I'm bring them in, and try a Big Head Pizza, just their regular deluxe pizza. Get the deluxe, not the supreme. The deluxe has the banana peppers on it, and try them side by side. And I promise you that the Bob's Stew or the Big Head Pizza is going to be better. And if it's not, I will take the $180,000 pizza off of your hands and finish it for you.
And then he'll shit it on the body.
I will shit it on the body and the blood.
Can we have crossover jokes? Plate. Is that allowed?
Sure.
Sure. Callback.
Yeah, this is like. I don't know.
It's not a callback. It's an Easter egg. More provocative that way.
So going into this movie, did you have any idea what it was about? Because me going into it, I didn't have any idea. I thought it was going to be like some kind of cannibal thing, like he's serving human stuff to the people. And for some reason, because it's taken us so many months to get to it, I kind of weirdly made that my idea of what this movie would be. And when that wasn't it, I was like, okay. It took me a second to adjust, but I think they did better than my shitty idea.
I knew that
Not
it was
a bad idea.
Like, just from the trailers going in. I knew that it was clearly it's a horror movie. Clearly it's like the restaurant goers are captive, but especially when knowing that when I went in and instantly I'm relating to Margot, my question is like, who is in on this? Is she the only one? Is she going to be the only one? Like this is a cult thing where they're going to fucking consume a pretty girl and kill her boyfriend? Because I mean, I thought Tyler was her boyfriend to start with.
Oh yeah, I guess name.
It was a mystery to me, so I liked that. I didn't exactly know, even though I had an idea. Um, well, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was cannibals. So there is that.
Jeff, do you have any notions going into this of what it may be, or had you watched the trailer? I had not.
I'd watched the trailer, and yeah, it doesn't really give you anything really to go off of. And so, like, the whole cannibal thing sounds plausible to me too.
There was the old Tales from the Crypt. One of the first couple seasons, there was a Christopher Reeve episode where him and his wife had a diner that was failing, and then like this kind of guy off the streets comes in and shows them how to cook something, and
Oh
it
yeah,
turns out that he's cooking people, but their business is booming now, so they just kind of deal with it. I think
Go with it.
very
Go
eating
with
raw
it.
rule.
Yeah. And for some reason, I was like, oh, maybe I have a feeling this is going to be a take on that, and which could have been cool, but they went a different route, and I was like they've said, getting as it went on, I started to wonder, not who else was in on it. I started to wonder if the whole thing was going to be like, what was that, like April Fool's Day? Remember that slasher where it turns out everything was fake? I
Yep.
thought that for a good minute. I'm like, they're putting everything on right now. This is all fake. Like the dude shooting himself. I'm like, it's going to turn out this was his whole, like his story he's telling them. It's all just elaborately planned, and
it's all part of the menu.
yeah, it's all effects and makeup and whatever. But no.
Oh no, it's the real deal. Let's. I want to talk just a couple things I noticed on rewatch, because I watched this several times when it first came out. Because I think did it come out in December of 2022 or January of 23? I think it came out December. But over the first couple months that this was out, I think we watched it in the theaters twice.
Really?
And then bought it as soon as it came out on the Voodoos, and watched it a few times. And I've watched it a couple times, but it's been a couple months. And maybe since May that I have watched it. So I watched it for this, and I noticed some things that maybe I fleetingly noticed before, but I noticed big time this time. And and I will admit, there is something in the IMDb trivia that brings this first point up. But that is not where I got the idea for this. I independently and separately came up with this. Notice this fact. Early in the movie, Tyler tells Margot, "You don't smoke; it'll ruin your palate. Like you want, right? It's going to deaden your senses. You're not going to taste all the flavors. Your senses are going to be dulled if you're smoking." But later on, when the men are out hiding and playing hide and seek, and the girls are inside, Lillian, the food critic, lights up a cigarette.
Okay.
So it gives credence to the idea that critics are bullshit.
Right.
And I've long thought that with movies. Like Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score usually is a better indicator to me than a critic score.
Right.
Especially when they're so lopsided. I love when that happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
The audience is like 20% and the critics are like 98%. You can almost guarantee it's going to be a disaster. Usually, a lot of times it's the other way. Like the critics will be like, "This movie is nothing but blood and gore. Who wants to watch this?" 2%. And I'm like, blood and gore, that's exactly what I want to watch. So,
add titties and we'll have a matinee.
BGT, that's all you need. So yeah, it just gives credence to the critics are bullshit thing. And then I also looked for clues that Tyler knew what was going on. And then this is one of the things I like to do with twist movies is I like to go back and watch after some time has passed and look for those clues. And there are a couple things with Tyler. For one, he's unfazed by the chaos because he expects it. It's not chaos to him. He knows these things are coming. He knows this is going to happen. When he sees the critics, what does he tell Margot? Oh my God, that's Lillian, whatever Bloom or whatever her name is. He's like, tonight is going to be madness. And so that's one more hint. I think that he knows what's coming. Like these people are going to die. It's weird. It seems like it's an anti-clue when he's taking pictures, because if you're going to die and no one's ever going to see these pictures, why take pictures?
Right.
But I feel like it's still, he's going through the motions because he is fangirling so hard.
Incidentally, so the first time I was watching it, I started watching it late at night and didn't finish it, and went to watch it the rest of it the next day, and skipped a little too far ahead, so I missed the part where he died. I saw him cooking the night before, and then I was a little too far ahead when I started watching again. I'm like, where the fuck is that guy?
He just disappeared.
Did he just run off? Like he was so ashamed that his cooking sucked that he just is hiding under a table or something? Like what happened? And I had to. Anyways,
I think just a side note on that him cooking. I have thought about that, especially on this viewing. I thought about it more like, what would I cook? I did think about that. Like, what would I cook? And because what is my specialty? Like, my specialty is probably chili is my best thing. I make a really mean cheeseburger. Given time, there's no way he could have like smoked chicken. I do a really good smoked chicken when I got time. But even my pan fried chicken is pretty decent. So I would have done something like that. I think maybe that would have saved my life. So I'm just going to say I would have survived this fucking movie if I was Tyler, because I would have cooked something plain Jane, kind of like the cheeseburger, and Chef Slowick would have been, that is really simple but really good. You, sir, may go. And then Margot would be like, oh, my hero. And then we just ride off into the sunset. And like, yeah, we just make love in the Coast Guard boat while the restaurant burns. And as we walk out, like everybody stands up and applauds for me. Like, yeah.
Wait, you and Ralph Fiennes are going away?
No, Marco.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
I got a wire cross during that story because I thought like he liked your cheeseburger so much he was going away with you, and then you're like, and then we're doing it in the boat, and I'm like, hold on.
No, Margo and Angela Bauer, we're going to the boat. We're having us a little.
When did Angela Bauer get involved in this?
She's upset because her husband's cheating, and she gets to see me cook, and she's like, a man who could do that in the kitchen can do some amazing things in the bedroom. And then that's
Jeff, what would you cook?
There we go.
If push came to shove in this situation. You got any secret dishes? Specialties?
Not really. No.
Same. I'd be dead. I'd throw something in a skillet and be like, I guess just fucking shoot me so my blood drains on top of it. That's the best I'm going to give you that's original or anything.
Hold on.
Dude, meatloaf.
Chef, let me cook something for you. Okay, what do you need, Chris? I need a box of Kraft mac and cheese and a half-pound bag of bacon bits.
I have fucked up Kraft mac and cheese.
It is a lot easier to fuck it up than people think.
It is.
I it put me off of cooking for a long time. I'm just now getting back into it. My
Butter.
current thing.
Butter is the secret.
I think I
Mustard
did,
powder.
but right now my current thing for cooking is burning. Everything. So,
Okay.
with that in mind, I know what I would cook
technique.
during this conversation. I would stick my hand in the skillet and burn my hand, and then I would shove it in Ralph Fiennes' face, and I'd just like scream some shit. I feel like that would like really get him thinking about like I don't know what that means, but like he'd probably think it means something.
Technically he did say whatever you need ingredients, we got it. So if Tyler had said, all right, I want to cook your dick, would he have had to cut off his own dick and put it on the fucking, give it to him to fucking cook it?
Is he crazy down the middle? I don't know that would be out of the question. I mean,
right.
So let's talk about the craziness. Like, it's one thing if the chef went crazy, but everybody went crazy with him. Like, all his restaurant people are there for it. So let's talk about that. The elements of a cult, because they're all here. You have the isolation. These people live and work on this island, isolated from society.
They gel.
How many phones did you see? The cell phones don't work. So how many landline phones did you see in this movie? I say 0. And I'm going to stick with it right now without actually watching to count.
I'm with you.
Confirmed. Yeah. All right, confirmed. So you have social isolation. Elsa, when she's taking them through their quarters, what does she tell them? We're usually up preparing and cooking and cleaning till 2 a.m. And then we're up at 6 a.m. One very common element of cult indoctrination is sleep deprivation. You keep people from getting a full night's sleep, and you keep them in a fog. You keep them not thinking clearly, and it makes them easier to manipulate. Another element of a lot, if not all cults, is the cult leader has to be seen as part of the group, aka in the kitchen, but also held separate. He's like, you have to have some subconscious reminders that he is above you, which is the chef's mansion. Like it's up on the fucking hill, up above everybody, up on the mountain hill area. So that elevated position psychologically just tells you it's in a place, a commanding position. He owns a commanding position. And what tell me other elements of a cult. Drugs. Now, I don't know how much you guys have ever been involved in drugs in your youth.
I've heard
don't
good
do drugs,
things.
kids.
I mean,
I've heard good things. Yes, don't do drugs, kids. But yes, drugs are great. But who? If I was in a new town and I wanted to buy weed and I didn't know where to go, you know where I'd go? The fucking Applebee's, because goddamn cooks and busboys are always selling weed, man. Strike me down if it ain't true, but these motherfuckers always got something. You got to. This is restaurant work is high stress work. I mean, and they're doing the Lord's work. They're feeding people. So yeah, if they want to smoke a little bit of the wacky tobacco, or they want to use a pot needle every once in a while, I have never personally. I will say here under oath on the podcast, I have never in my life used a pot needle. But if cooks want to use the pot, yeah, let them use the pot. But drugs is central to cults a lot of times. That's how we suck people in, or how they suck people in. I'm not trying to make a cult.
Was that from Reefer Madness? Pot needle?
No, that's how people use pot.
Golly, Wendy, that guy's got a pot.
You're not as street savvy as I am, Jeff. Sorry. But if you were from the streets, you know how big the pot needle problem is.
That David's going to dance up a storm if he keeps dealing with that pot.
My cousin smoked pot once, and he never quit laughing until the day he died.
Which was
of starvation, because he was laughing so hard he couldn't eat for the rest of his life after one hit of the pot needle. Shot it right into his dick hole. So,
oh my god!
That's how you use pot. If you've never used pot that way, you've never really used pot. And then the next thing, the last thing, this is my last thing. Elements of a cult. What else do cults use for
sex?
Sex. For control and as a benefit to the cult leader, sex. And what did
I was
Chef
right?
Floyd? Yes, you were right.
Holy shit.
So he approached Catherine and she rebuffed his advances, and he responded by not giving her the time of day, not talking to her, not looking her in the eye for months.
Because he can do that.
Because he can do that. He's got the power.
He's got the touch.
But did she report it to anybody? Did she leave? No, because how can she? She's in a fucking cult. Who's she's going to report it to? The next cult member next to her?
The cult on an island. You can't just go down to the Walmart and be like, Chef down there is being a creep.
And you're talking about COVID. So coming out of COVID with the lockdowns, these people were on this restaurant and even more extra isolated because with COVID, they didn't even have regular dinner guests probably.
They're terribly mismanaged if they were going to lose. If they were, who was it that said, I kept you open during COVID? Like this rich fancy ass place.
Barrick. Yeah, they were talking about Barrick, who I don't even know who plays him because he was like all you saw is him in his angel wings and then drowning. But
yeah, like
his figures make an appearance in the gift bags at the end.
Pretentious rich ass restaurant that they were going to go down during COVID. Like the mom and pop places, absolutely, but like this guy's experience of whatever, like they were in financial troubles.
Yeah, well, I mean, DoorDash can't exactly DoorDash Hawthorne food to the mainland.
Yeah, but like as much as they charged per person for that, like I can't imagine that.
Right.
But I mean, they were also sourcing their oysters from.
Do you know how much it costs to ship rocks? Like this is a heavy shipping cost. Like, your DoorDash fee is an extra
insanity.
Your extra fee is like it's a $75 DoorDash fee because the rocks are so heavy for you to lick for dinner. I'd like to lick some rocks for dinner tonight, honey. So yeah, that's expensive, but it's a goddamn cult.
So you have the cult. I was the restaurant goers. The cooks and all them have potential weapons that they could use on them if they tried to revolt, but at a certain point, wouldn't you just try to? Instead of just like, I'll eat your pretentious thing that's next and just feel sad.
I almost feel like
I feel like there was something else at work.
Yeah, and I wonder, and I did wonder this. So, real quick before I get to what I wondered, the one tech or accounting bro, he tries to smash the window with a chair. It fails, and once that fails, the genius of the cult not to overreact.
Yeah,
you tried, and they just guess what? It failed, and they act like they expected the attempt and they expected the fail. And I feel like that's going to really put a damper on people, because I feel like even at that time, they're still hoping that they're going to make it out alive.
Well, they've not watched enough wrestling because, okay, the chair didn't work on the window. Fuck you. It'll work on one of you. And that's where I'm going next. I'm not a sad boy. I'm fucking Phil Brooks. Eat shit. And then I'd probably die. But then I'm not sad boy that still has to lick rock with the rest of you guys.
Yeah, you're right. So that brings me to my next theory. There was something in the food.
That's kind of where I'm.
There was
sitting on it.
something in the food that maybe just took the edge off and just like pacified everybody just a little bit.
You don't
Because
reckon
who's
he
the
was
only
giving those
one-
people weed, do you?
Yeah, maybe. Who's the only one that does have the balls to stand up at the end of the movie and send her fucking food back and say it ain't good enough and just say, I just want my food to go.
Right.
But how many other people did that? Like, no one else was like, hey, that's a good idea. I would like my food to go also. Maybe they could have all gone if they all said that.
Right.
But only Margot had the balls because only Margot did not eat the food.
She ate a little bit.
On the boat.
No. She ate some
I
of the
don't know.
plants.
I honestly don't know that I saw her eating anything else.
What was before
The plants on the rocks.
I thought Tyler took it.
When it got to the
No,
bread, she was like out. She's like, I'm not eating this. You shouldn't
Right.
eat this
Yeah,
either. But
so
whatever
maybe
was
she ate a
before
little bit,
that,
but she didn't eat enough to get there. She didn't eat enough
Right.
to like be
depending on what it
seduced
could
by his
be.
power.
Yeah.
So
That's good. I kind of like that theory. I kind of like that theory a lot. I ain't gonna lie.
So that's the theory I have.
That explains
you know.
Tyler too, though, in a way. Like he's so high, he doesn't realize he's gonna die. That's why he's still taking pictures. It's like, oh man, this food's so fucking good. Look at this. Look, hey, you see this?
A couple times he says like, "Oh, this is to die for." The one thing I don't remember which course it was. He says, "Oh, embalm me in this." I mean, he keeps making these references to the fact that he's going to die, and
Right.
and yet has no reaction to that. His life is meaningless. I want to know, each of the guests. They didn't just make a reservation and happen to be the guest that night. Like everybody was invited specifically. And they even like the critics even say that like, oh, he invited us. They for a while they think this is all about them. This is all a show for us. That's all for us. And so this is all. Everybody was invited except Margot. Tyler had a different date. I wonder what her sin was. Like everybody had a sin. Tyler was taking pictures of the food. Old boy was cheating on his wife with a escort that looks like his daughter. That's fucked up, man.
Right.
The accountant bros were embezzling from their own company. The critics shut down restaurants heartlessly with an unsophisticated palate. I mean, the dude critic, I don't know what his name was.
He's a
He
magazine
was
owner.
such a fucking emasculated dude. Like everything Lillian said, if every time he started to have his own idea, she would say something else and he'd correct himself like, oh no, you're right. You're right. Very thoracic. Whatever it was.
Runs the
John
magazine,
Leguizamo.
so he just agrees with her.
Right. John Leguizamo and his assistant. His assistant was stealing from him, and John knew that he was also giving shitty fucking references when she was trying to get another job. So they're both fucking dickheads. Just it was. Everybody had their sins. It's interesting. I thought that Margot is the one person who isn't her real name's not Margot. She's not really a fancy pants girl. She's not a bougie girl. This isn't her setting. She's not really Tyler's girlfriend. So yes, on the surface, everything about her is a lie. But in everything substantively about her, she doesn't lie. She doesn't lie about what she likes. She likes regular oysters. She doesn't want pond scum on her oysters. She calls out the bullshit of the food because she can't bring herself to lie about these things. So the biggest liar, quote unquote, is actually the biggest truth teller in the whole movie, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Right.
And even Angela Bauer, I think, was lying to herself about what her marriage was. So, because really, she wanted me. She was using uh, Richard for his money, and but she was in love with me. So there's that.
This whole podcast was an elaborate joke by you, Dave, orchestrated for me to go after Mona. This is bullshit.
Yes.
Get
Yep.
Mona out of the way.
I mean, yeah.
Bing,
I
bang,
guess you'd
pong.
be my stepdad if I, marry Angela and you marry Mona. Like, that'd be weird.
Your stepdad-in-law.
You'd be my stepdad brother-in-law. Yeah.
Maybe she could have been saved if she could have answered his question about what they had served before.
True.
And
true.
she's like, cod. And he's like, no, it was halibut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if maybe she answered the right food, even though it was directed towards her husband, she could have been saved because she was tasting the food and not eating the food.
Yeah.
Did he give other people? So if we assume that, and Tyler was given some sort of chance to cook, right? Like, assuming he cooked well, he probably would still died, but maybe he could have been on their side of dying. Did anybody else get like a shot at surviving like that? Like, did he say anything or give them some kind of a thing to be like,
I don't know that anybody had a real shot at surviving, and I don't know that Tyler had a real shot. I think that,
but he would have
clearly that he didn't just meet Tyler. There was correspondence of some kind back and forth, whether it was with Tyler or with like Elsa or somebody.
But the chance to die with the staff would have tickled his fancy immensely. I could see him settling for that. But
I don't think that was part of the plan, Tyler cooking, though. I think eliminating him, it was like removing a piece from the chessboard, because he makes mention like service workers know each other, and I fully believe that too. Like, if you're a service worker, you have a special empathy for other service workers, and if you were ever a waiter or a short order cook or a nurse or a teacher, and then you treat other service workers like shit, like there's a special fucking place in hell for you. Like, you don't get one pineapple up your ass sideways. You get 5 pineapples up your ass sideways while standing upside down in 3 foot of diarrhea. And bleeding out your dick hole. Or your lady dick hole. Whatever, because ladies can be dick holes too. Yeah, we're spitting poetry tonight, boys.
Where else are you supposed to put the pot needle? You taught me that.
Right. I mean,
I learned about it here.
Are you saying women don't use pot? No, women use pot needles too. They have their own lady dick hole.
That's
they put the pot needle in.
You've taught me. You've taught us all.
I'm from the streets, boy, keeping it real up in here.
Lord. Any other points either of them you want to talk about before we get to rating?
I like how on IMDb it just says John Leguizamo's character is movie star.
Yes.
He had a name. He gave a false name, and the lady's like, "No, this is his name." But he had a name in the movie, but on IMDb it says movie star.
Oh, they gaslit me then, because I was like, they didn't say his name, did they? But they did?
They did.
Oh,
yeah, I think he tries to say Ramirez and she says Diaz, or maybe it's the other way around.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You gave him my name. Of course I gave him your name.
Right. It's like nobody really gives a fuck who you are. So,
which I feel like I stand the test to that, because I'm like, yeah, he didn't have a name. That guy that gave us his name, yeah, he's a nobody. He doesn't have a name.
This is an interview with Vampire with Christian Slater.
They totally. Wow, I've never.
They give him a
seen
name
Castle
in the
by
movie,
chance.
but they don't actually say his name in the movie.
That would be. I don't know.
That's a George Lucas move. That's a Star Wars move. Unnamed characters, suddenly they got fucking action figures with a name.
Right.
Oh, the droid bounty hunter. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know his name was Horus. So.
But Horus is an abbreviation for the line he actually said in the movie.
Right.
Right.
Hey, only robots and cats enter.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. That seems like a George
perfectly
Lucas thing.
fits what it would.
All right.
Any other points you want to address?
The fact that they let all the men go to chase them down, like John Leguizamo did in The Pest.
That was like The Pest.
I just love when he's like, I was the only one that got away.
I forgot that was the whole thing about The Pest, wasn't it?
Right.
I'm so front-loaded with that movie because I just love his like introduction as that character. I forgot the whole rest of that movie is him being hunted by the rich guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Do you think he did? Is that the reason you think he did the menu?
Probably.
John Leguizamo is the most dangerous game.
They presented it to him like, this is A24's version of The Pest. And he's like, sign me up. I don't want a name, though. At least don't credit me with a name.
Just call me movie star.
Because have you seen some of these people? Ralph Fiennes? Who is that? I'm the star. I'm the movie star.
They could have just called him, what was that? Calling Dr.
Sunshine.
Sunshine, yeah. They just could have named him that. His name is Calling Dr. Sunshine, because they mentioned that several times throughout the movie.
Doesn't that sound like that is a great title for his imaginary movie? Because it sounds like a movie
Right.
that a washed up actor would do to just cash in.
It sounds like an Adam Sandler Netflix movie.
Exactly. A movie that a washed up star would use just to cash in.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like other movies that washed up actors would star in would be things like Hard to Kill, Under Siege.
Under Siege territory.
Oh god, that was awful.
Yeah.
Fire
True
Down Below.
Justice.
I had to watch that because they filmed that in Kentucky where some of my family lives. And you can see some of their houses. And that was like the coolest thing at the time. But if you go back and watch that movie now, oh my God, it's so bad. Let's put Steven Seagal in coal mining territory and see what happens. That should have been the tagline for the movie.
Have you seen the fake kung fu videos where someone's like instructing, like, okay, point the gun at me and I'll show you how to disarm you. But then, like, the person who's holding the gun never just pulls the fucking trigger. Like, as soon as he flinched, I'd be like, bang.
That's the Always Sunny thing with Charlie and what's the other guy's name? Mac. Goddamn.
He's like, I'll dodge like this, and he's like, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. But if I came at you with a sword, like, he's like, no. I still shoot. It's fine.
Steven Seagal, I just want to say, he stars in a movie called China Salesman. Did Trump write that fucking title?
Like salesman or like sales?
China, not Chinese salesman, China salesman.
He's maybe the best China salesman.
Yes, yes. There you go. That's all you got to say about Steven Seagal.
Wait, was he a Chinese asset or a Russian asset? I've had too much.
He's a dual threat.
Too much weeds.
Van Damme's better.
Yeah, I agree. Did you? He had that series on Amazon where he played himself.
Yeah,
but it was like tongue in cheek, and I thought that was cool.
Oh, he took it totally seriously.
Maybe, but it worked for what it was. Like you could see Seagal seeing that and be like, "I need to get my life story out too."
Yeah, Steven Seagal did get his movie out. In the Onion movie, he plays a character called Cockpuncher.
Oh my God.
Anything to touch a dick, Seagal. Anything to touch a dick.
A fucking poor ass PA ran into his trailer one day to get him on set, and he was punching something, but he's like, "No, I'm training. I'm Steven Seagal. I'm not masturbating. I'm training."
Punching the munchkin.
Oh God!
I would think of the Mad TV with Will Sasso being Steven Seagal.
I don't know that.
Right?
I don't remember that, but that sounds amazing.
You just go around stabbing people's necks all the time. You talk to someone to just stab their neck, and that was it. It's like, okay.
Oh my God. I have got to see that.
Those are good episodes.
Oh my God. Him as Kenny Rogers was fantastic.
Oh yeah. Those were great.
All right. Let's wrap this up. I've got my projections down for what you guys are rating this movie. So Jeff is the special guest. Jeff, if you want to give us a wrap up and give us your rating, a little final thoughts on your rating on this movie.
Yeah, if Mads Mikkelsen wasn't, it would be 10 out of 10. Especially if they did it in Dutch and stuff.
Oh, you wanted to be a foreign language film?
Yes. Oh my God, it would be so good.
Just like make it. We need more. Make it more.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It was a really good movie. It was really good. Like Mads Mikkelsen would just throw it over the top. But I mean, Ralph Fiennes. I mean, you can't do much better than that.
Oh, sure. Chris, what do you think?
For me, Nicholas Hoult was a major concern going in, but I did get over that hurdle. He's fine. I was very confused on when his character disappeared. But that's on me. There was another point that I wanted to bring up, and I have had too much weed beers to remember what it was. So it'll just have to, when we redo this episode in 10 years, I'll remember. But I did like this movie. And
I just wonder what he said to him to make him walk off and go hang himself.
That's a good.
What did Ralph Fiennes say to him? He just talked to him, and all of a sudden he just walks off, takes his tie off, like, oh.
I shit in
That's
all the
not
dishes. Food's for pussies. I like it. It's all a joke. It's all a ruse.
I think Tyler was despondent, mentally ill, depressed, something already, because he knew he was coming here for his death.
True.
And at that point, like he's fangirling so hard, and I mean, all it would have taken was, do me a favor. I don't even want you washing the fucking dishes. Just go hang yourself right now.
I'm sure that's what he said.
Yeah.
So
that's the part of it that was my least favorite, was just him, like he knows about it, but like he's still like fangirling so hard.
Right.
That part is I don't quite get. But Ralph Fiennes is awesome. He was in a Cronenberg movie. I don't know if I brought that up yet. But I felt like I was going to be the low man out of the three of us, and I'm sure Dave also expected that. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
All right, all right.
No titties.
Yeah. But I mean, we know titties is an automatic half point to a full point upgrade on a movie. So, I really like this. I really enjoyed this. I feel like it's tense. It's surprised me when I first looked it up on IMDb and they have it listed as a horror comedy because I didn't really feel that. Yes, it's absurdist in a way, but to me, it's not a comedy. It's not played for fun, which is what comedies are supposed to be, fun. And so it's a little bit absurdist horror, but I think it is pure horror, and I really like it. And yes, Chris, you are the low man. I gave it an 8. I figured that Jeff would be at an 8, so he was a little bit above what I thought, and I thought you would be at a 7.5. So right there.
I guess 8.5 for both of you because I'm unoriginal. I don't know. I'm bad that way. Anyways, that does it for us. Another week in the horror house. Stay tuned next week. I'm sure we'll be talking about something. But I couldn't even begin to tell you what.
Yeah, I know we already have a plan, and I don't know what it is. But I can tell you that our average tonight is an 8.33 repeating.
Nice.
That's a pretty solid movie for the horror
Repeating
house.
numbers are pretentious as shit. Ralph
They're
Fiennes
more
would
pretentious
love that.
than serving dinner on a rock. If
we can get on Rotten Tomatoes with a quote, maybe that one. Maybe do that
one. Nicholas Holt, or like Nicholas Dolt.
Not so much that one, but the other one.
Sorry.
Jeff,
Ralph.
Thanks for
Ralph Fiennes Shines.
Oh, that is like some right for newspaper.
No if
titties.
You have
good, but no titties. Let's do that one.
Titties.
Good, but no titties.
Good, but no titties. That can be a catchphrase because there's a lot of movies.
And then we'll quote it as if Jeff said that.
Oh yeah, we'll blame it all on Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
He'll get all the heat if there's backlash. Is that?
Yeah. What was it again? What was it?
Sure.
What was it? You were saying something about good, but what? What was it, Jeff? What was it you said? Come on, help me out here, Jeff. Good, but no. What's he saying?
Cigar.
No, come on.
Me and Jeff.
You guys are mind melding against me now. God.
There is mind melding weirdness in the horror house constantly. It is impressive. Oh,
I'm watching the trailer for the menu, and it's funny. Just the one part where they bring out the cake to the guy. They're like, "Happy birthday!" Like, it's my birthday. It was funny like 3 hours ago.
Dave.
If you have a suggestion, if you have ideas about, what do you think? Who Mads Mikkelsen or Ralph Fiennes Fiennes?
Finesse.
Finkelstein.
Because that's what he does
Finesse. Yeah. If you wanted to see Ralph Fiennes' titties in this movie, I don't know. Let us know on
Good, but
Twitter.
no Ralph Fiennes titties.
At Sweetness1 with 6 E's, or at Horror House 2 because there are 3 of us.
What do I say?
Gmail.
Go to
Facebook.
You can email us at horrorhousepodcast@gmail.com or go to the page on the Facebook.
Yeah. You can look us up on Slasher,
down.
the social media app, platform, device, app, thing, program for horror fans. I am Horror House Dave, and Chris is Horror House Chris.
I
Two
copied
very
Dave.
original names.
And last but not least, like us, share us, favorite us, hit that bell. I know this isn't YouTube, but I don't know. There may be a bell on some fucking thing. And share us, like us, favorite us, wherever you're listening. And if you want to hear more from Jeff, you can go to Good But No Tits Podcast at gmail.com.
My name is Jeff. And
I don't know why I feel the need to try to throw Jeff under the bus. I apologize right now. I'm going real hard. But Jeff, thank you for joining us for two episodes. And I'm sure we will lure you back somehow after all.
Oh yeah, not hard to do.
But that said,
anything Jeff wants to pimp? Maybe Jeff wants to pimp something.
Oh yeah,
Jeff.
You want to get that spreadshirt up real quick? Good, but no. Hold on.
Good, but no Ralph Fine titties.
Dude, that could be your whole brand. You could start your shirts, right? But make them sleeveless, and it could be good, but no sleeves.
There you go.
Pants, actually shorts, good, but no legs. It goes everywhere. Non-alcoholic beer, good, no alcohol. Just forever.
So, yeah.
Something to think about. No. But until he cashes in on all these great ideas, we'll see you next time. Same cemetery, different grave.
In the horror house.
Nice.